Mabuhay Kamuska, welcome. How are you? This is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. That means it's time to get going. This is Labor Day 2019, and I know it's a holiday, but thank you for somebody being there already today. But hopefully, you were able to get some rest and not be working. Thank you for two people here already, and when you're working, it's certainly nice to look forward to a day off, and that's what both Isa and I had. She will be here soon. Um, she is here, but she will be here. And today's topic is going to be about the Philippines and Filipinas. Now, I don't have, the greatest expertise in this, although I am married to a Filipina. I knew a few things about Filipinas when I decided to go look for one online to marry her, and the good things that I have heard have been true. My Isa is the type of Filipina I was looking for, and I had heard many people were able to marry, and she will be here very shortly. And so I'd like to encourage people to ask her about anything that they want to know about the Philippines and about Filipinas, because she would be a good person to answer those questions. I do have a list of some questions, but I would like to hear from other people. And today, Isa and I went for a drive to buy some food that she's familiar with from the Philippines. We ate at an Asian restaurant, and it was good to get out in the car for a couple hours and be together. We've both been working extra hours. Thank you for the thumbs up, and hopefully we'll be joining more here. Isa will be here, and just waiting for her. So we had a good day. Got up late and drove and did some shopping, and then some extra grocery shopping too. So it's always hard to tell what day it is. Uh, Good evening, New York Mets fan 2006. Thank you for being here, just as you said you would be. Um, in my mind, it's been hard to tell whether it's Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. When you get this day off. So, New York Mets fan 206. If you have any questions of Isa from the Philippines or Filipinas, you can certainly start leaving the questions here. Um, I can't start asking my questions because she isn't here right now, but she is here. So I'm not sure what else to ad lib about, other than to say, um, the channel it's had a good month. Um, I know that a couple months ago it was not doing so well. Um, but the last month after that, and then this past month, September, was good. And so the channel here, for those of you that will pop in and or see this later, Love Beyond the Sea is about me and my wife finding love beyond the sea. That was back in 2015. I guess I wasn't going to find it here in the U.S. I go into some detail about that, the struggles that a lot of people are having finding a suitable mate. So rather than just give up and figure that it was hopeless, I thought, okay, it's time to try the Philippines. Why the Philippines? Well, because of the good things I had heard about Filipinas making great wives, and I certainly wanted that. And I joined up on a website called Christian Filipina. 5 days later, I met Isa, and that was on uh, um, that was on well, I was actually winking at her. Now it all of a sudden it won't let me get to my comments here because something came across. There we go. So I met her one day at work, and we kind of set up a conversation for maybe a few days later. And not long after that, we were engaged, and then we got married. And so it's about me finding love beyond the sea, my wife finding love beyond the sea. Mostly, it's about love, how to love the person that you've married beyond the sea, and I want to teach about Philippines and Filipinas to whatever degree I can, but that is dwarfed by the experience my wife has, and I hope that she will join me here shortly. But if anyone has any questions, you can put them out there now, and I will ask her later, and or when she gets here. And don't be shy, because if you're somebody that's considering living in the Philippines, but all you've heard is what you've seen on YouTube from some guys, and you're not sure if they're just trying to paint a rosy outlook for the Philippines, you can ask her about that today, what it's really like, what the safety situation is like, what it's like being a Westerner there, what do they have to watch out for, what they should look for um, in a Filipina. We are going to have an episode. I've got about 5 of them in mind. This one is about the Philippines and Filipinas. One will be all dedicated to scamming. Another one will be dedicated to uh, like Filipino working in America. Another one to internet, online dating, to help foreigners from the Filipina perspective. And let me answer your question, New York Mets fan 2006. Are you ready to make the move to the Philippines to retire? During my short visit in July to Manila, it took me about, 5 days to relax and get used to staying there. Well, I'm glad you were able to go back to Manila so soon. Um, Now, I'm not familiar if you're married to a Filipino, or if you have somebody out there that you're close to, but um, we would be in Davao City. We have to fly to Manila, but then we have to go to Davao, and Davao is not as populated as Manila, and it's bigger, so it probably and it's so big, it's not like we live, right in the center of all the action. It's very big. And I am looking forward to it. Um, I'm starting to think about it, jot down some notes on what we will try to do with the month that we're there. And that's a good amount of time. New York Mets fan 2006. How long did you go? Because I know we went one time for like 2 weeks and 2 days, and it just went by so fast. It was like we were just getting there and turning around. 3 weeks is better. Of course, it all comes down to having vacation. This time we're going to go 4 weeks, because I kind of saved all my vacation until the end of the year this year, and even carrying one over into January, because we're going to be there from middle of December to approximately the middle of January. So make the move. You're there for 10 days. Um, for from here, it's 4 flights to get there and 4 flights back. Now, let's say somebody lives on the West Coast. They might be able to used to be able to make one flight from LAX to Manila. Now I don't think they do. I think you have to go to Hong Kong and then to Manila. But the shorter, fewer flights, the better. And if you know your way around and you've got some plans, then those 10 days can go by pretty quickly. I mean, they will go by pretty quickly, but at least you can try to get used to it. You'll probably have a couple of those days to try to unwind from the jet lag, and well, that's just part of it. Unless you're somebody that can sleep on the plane, I get kind of excited when we're there, and I'm looking forward to retire there. But then we're talking about maybe 4 years or so, um, and I know the 4 years will probably go by soon too. I hope that physically I'm in a little bit better condition. Going to have knee surgery, knee replacement here, bringing up my surgery total to about 12. Um, and so that'll be here in at the end of September. We'll get that done in plenty of time for the trip to the Philippines. Um, it's hard not to think about it when even you're within 4 years. You start thinking, okay, year to year, and then you're at work and you start daydreaming about what the life is going to be like, and to try to prepare myself and maybe help other people who are considering going to the Philippines. I do plan on releasing 5 or 6 videos every other day before we go on various topics about that. What I feel like I'm going to miss from here, because I've already started thinking about that. What I'm going to miss, what I would be doing out there, so that I'm not just going out there and sleeping all day. I mean, yeah, you want to retire and relax, but I think if you're in another country, you need to have something to do that is going to be fulfilling. I know a lot of YouTubers make videos, and I do plan on doing that. It would certainly add a different element being in the Philippines. I do a video on what my wife is going to miss about the United States. Different thoughts on leaving leaving here. Still haven't decided yet if we would maintain some kind of a residence here, a smaller place, and have something to come back to now and then. If I could snap my fingers, I would just do it that way. I think that would be nice, but that's kind of in the future. Selling your house, what to do with it, get a smaller place. I don't know. It's 8 flights again to get here, another $3,000, $3,200 for both of us to get back here, if we want to get back in the quickest amount of time, which from Nebraska would be about 26 hours. If you can have your flight time and your itinerary add up to 26 hours, then you've got one very, very quick layover somewhere, and then no really long layovers in there, because you can easily spend 36 to 40 hours flying if you want to save some money. So yeah, I don't think I'm concerned about that so much anymore, as long as my back's not bothering too much. But um, I'm looking forward to it. Part of me wishes it would just happen already. Thank you for you guys being here tonight. Isa is here, and I wish she would be here now. I don't think she's purposely being late. I don't think she's trying to show you what Filipina time is like. But now that I mention it, one of the things about the Philippines that everybody knows, my wife doesn't have to say this, is that there is less of a sense of urgency to be places. Um, I don't know how they do it with starting work shifts, because over here they keep track of that. If you clock in a minute late, the computer knows about it, then your supervisor is going to know about it, then eventually you're going to hear about it. And if you get that too many times, then it becomes a problem for you. And that's something Isa has adjusted to well, because we have to be there on time. Um, I'm sure she has some thoughts about what she will be doing in the Philippines. I know neither one of us just wants to go lay in a hammock all day and not do anything. I'm happy for her, because she's going to be around her friends and her family, of course. Um, and myself, I think it would be uh, a great opportunity to probably spend more time with her now since we won't be working as we are now. And I'd like to see different places there too in the Philippines, different islands, um, all about the Philippines. Pete had a video, I think it came out yesterday, about bucket list places in the Philippines. I'm sure my wife knows some really good spots to go to over there. So I'm not quite ready yet because I've got this surgery coming up. It's possible there may be an additional one coming up, which of course you want to all get that done before you leave the country. And I've started to look into some details about insurance, and I wasn't really liking what I was seeing because expat insurance is very expensive, I think, just for one region like Southeast Asia. For the two of us, I think Aetna was going to be like $600, something like that, for two of us. But then there's like a list of 22-page list of things that they do not cover, namely pre-existing conditions. So that doesn't sound like a good idea to me. So probably what we have to do is I have to put my code in again, and is just wait till I'm 65 and start having Medicare taken out of my check, and then I can well, I'd have to come back to the States to do anything. Not very ideal, but it's better than spending $20,000 or $30,000 in the Philippines for something I might be able to do for a few thousand over here, and that's something I'll pay more attention to as we get closer. And I'm just trying to stall here. I know my wife's involved with the conversation. Hopefully she will be here soon because I want her to be able. Thank you, 5 people that are here. Don't go away. My wife should be here soon. She knows I'm waiting for her, and hopefully it will be worth the wait. So today's topic: the Philippines and Filipinas. I only know so much. I've got quite a few videos talking about Filipinas and their qualities that attract a man to them. And I'm sitting here, one of those guys that married a Filipina and heard from somebody that Filipina was a good choice to marry, and had never left the country before. And I got on a plane to go meet Isa in Manila for the purpose of marrying her. It was not for the purpose of seeing if she was someone that I wanted to marry. Yes, I was going to go meet her friends, meet her family, but we had kind of started my petition before I even left. I hired somebody to help me with that, tried to have it go as fast as possible, got some PDF documents of some of the forms, started filling them out as if married because it's a spousal visa. So your information goes on there as if you are married. Just had to wait for some things logistically after the marriage, the wedding, before we could have everything to get my petition going. But it only took 6 months from, I think it was June 3rd. I got back. I left the Philippines on the 22nd of May. And already on June 3rd, my petition had been received by whatever office receives it. So, we got a little jump start on some paperwork, make sure we knew what was coming up, paid some fees ahead of time, and my agent took care of that. And then just 6 months later, December 1st, in Manila, my wife had her interview, and she was very concerned about answering those questions. But they only asked her a couple softball questions, like, I don't know, what does your husband do? And do you plan on working? Just a couple of quickies. It probably took 5 minutes. And then she just had to wait for her passport. with the visa in it, and then she was up here, and a little bit later, I wanted her to go to a wedding for her sister. Um, that's correct, for her sister. Now, when we get to the Philippines, we're going to be going to another wedding. I've got a wedding on why I like Filipino weddings. And of course, I was married there. We were participating in the wedding of her brother. And that was what, 2017. I just heard today, very next morning, after we arrive in Davao, we've got to be the pleasure of taking part in one of her friends' weddings. And so, I plan on doing a couple videos a day when I'm there. We're talking about retirement here, and it's going to be a whole series or playlist um, call it something like expat trial run in the Philippines, because we're going to be living there for like 4 weeks. We're going to be in the house that we built, and the family will be there. We're going to get a good trial run of what it's going to be like, and what, I can talk there every day about where we are, what we're doing, what my thoughts are about everything. Maybe I'm seeing some things for the first time, now that we're really there in such close proximity to her family. Before, we always stayed in a condo, and I would spend as much time in the air conditioned condo as I could, and then I'd get a ride from one of her brothers usually, and we go eat a couple times a day there, and more of the same. I suppose we'll be having a lot of family meals together, breakfast, dinner. I suppose we'll eat that with her family every day, which is going to be probably the norm. So I have to figure out what I'm going to be eating over there. I know I'm not going to be having, steak like I am here, hamburger. That's going to be different. And I don't know if we can get some good fish every day and some brown rice for me, some fruits and vegetables. Maybe I can I can live off of that. So yeah, the diet will be a big adjustment. The heat will be a big adjustment. When we're there permanently, we'll probably install an air conditioning unit in the bedroom. Right now, we just have uh, coolers that we can move around. Sweetheart, are you coming? Hon? Well, she should be coming, and hopefully she'll be here soon, because I want you to have a chance to ask her questions. I do not know exactly what the delay is, but she's here. Rhino Wisdom, thank you for joining me tonight. Hopefully, you'll be joined by Isa as well. Why did I not choose a fiance visa and bring her here to marry? Okay, what is the difference between the two? I've read that a fiance visa is quicker to get. Maybe I'm wrong. Well, that's what I've always heard too. But, at the time, and this was 4 years ago, is the most experience I had, and I did hire an agent. And I remember him telling me it was about the same length of time at that time, which, could be 8 to 12 months, kind of a big window there. But apparently at the time, now, if anybody has a different experience, please let me know. But at the time, it was about the same. I do know that currently um, they are taking a little bit longer than they were back then. So whether it's faster, I don't know. But I know some people have talked like 4 months, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that goes. But a lot of this is the complication level of the the petitioner. I mean, if he's been married a couple times, or his wife has died, and he's been divorced another time, I don't know. If there's some criminal record, I mean, things like this can and will probably cause a delay. It's just more things that you have to prove. But if you've never been married, I went to Manila to pay $50 for some document, and stating that I was not married or had never been married. I think it was that I was not presently married. And we got that piece of paper, and that was necessary as part of our petition. So, why I did not choose a fiance visa, which was my original plan. Why? Because I wanted to be with her as soon as possible. I had been a Guinness World Book of Records, um, now officially entered in the next upcoming version, 30 years alone. And, I thought, well, let's just do it, whatever's faster. But then I realized my wife wanted to get married in the Philippines, and she wanted to be married with her so her family can go. And I think she was the first in the family to leave, and so it was kind of a bittersweet experience, I'm sure, for a lot of the family. And she wanted them to be there, and so the wedding kept getting a little larger as we went on, but I was fine with it because I know it's a big day for her, and I wanted everybody to be there and participate. I wanted to have a lot of people there and have a lot of food and some music and the whole thing. And by the way, having mentioned some of the wedding, if you go to the playlist Just Us, which is probably on the front page there, there's one called Just Us, and that has a bunch of videos from some of them from our wedding. Mostly it's just videos where the two of us are in there. We're in the Philippines or something from the wedding. If you want to see what I'm referring to, like 4 years ago, back in 2015, then the Just Us playlist is the place to go for that. So we were there, family and friends, and I think that's the best thing. However, having said that, it's important to, I think, to be in the Philippines before you marry her. Now, maybe you've made a trip in the Philippines or two. It gets kind of expensive and time consuming, but I think it's critical, really, to know what it's like to be there, to know what her life was like, get to know some of her family and friends, and and uh, and then if you choose to marry her and she's okay with doing a fiance visa, well, then the family has met you. You've got to see possibly where she grew up and went to school, and you find out what it's like in the Philippines. So that was a part of it, but mainly Rhino. That was because Isa wanted to get married there, and probably also I wasn't crazy about doing something I'd never done before, which is fly to another country. I almost missed the flight to the Philippines because when I got there, the plane had boarded already because I didn't really know where to go and was given some bad instructions by somebody in the airport. Called my agent. They said, no, you got to take a shuttle. Took the shuttle, got to LAX, Philippine Airlines counter. Not a soul was there. Why? The plane had already boarded and I just showed up. So then I made phone calls to try to find out what I did wrong, which was not check in. And plus, I got stuck in a wrong line, before I even got to the shuttle. So I told them, look, I have to get on that plane. I'm going to go and get married. You know, I didn't want to throw off the whole trip, and so they hustled me up there. And then I realized I left one of my luggages down on the ground and the other floor when I made the phone calls. They ran me in there, uh, don't even show the papers, just go get on the plane. So I was off to the Philippines. So, it's up to the person. I just think there's a lot of value in actually being in the Philippines. Some guys, I suppose, could say, well, rather than go to the Philippines to marry her, maybe we'll go there someday. But for now, I want her to come to your country. There's no right or wrong. I'm just so glad I was able to go to the Philippines. And it was a shock to me. I hadn't read much about the Philippines at that time. I was not looking at other Philippine vloggers channels like Life Beyond the Sea, which I discovered later, and some other, I guess I call them old timers now, originals. And so I didn't have that benefit. So it was a big shock, and it was just a surreal experience the first time. Second time we went back was better. The third time was better, and we'll be going back again soon. And I think I'm going to have to knock on the door here because I want people to be there for her. Okay, I trust she will be here shortly. I hope nobody goes away. I want to talk to her. I want you guys to ask her, and I've got questions to ask her. Hopefully, you can learn something about Philippines and Filipinas. So either way, I can't verify myself if a fiance visa is any less expensive or not. Um, the difference is we're married. I want to be gentle with that whip. A twit in the Philippines. Thank you for joining us this Labor Day evening in the United States. Um, but the fiance visa, you got 90 days. You're not married. If you guys, I'm sure you're familiar with the television show, which I kind of like. That show can grow on you, either love it or hate it, I guess. But you have 90 days to decide whether you're going to actually get married. So there is still some time if it looks like you're just not getting along, things are coming to light. It must be a big fly or something here, or I don't know. I hear some noise out there. But anyway, 90 Day Fiance, I could have done that. If Isa had said that, she would have met my mom and family. She would have gone here and seen what it was like in the United States. The thing is, I think that's a little bit more expensive because then you have to adjust your status from being single to being married. And I think that comes with a little bit of a hefty price tag. I'm going to say, depending on how you do it, boy, that fly sounds like it's a big one. Um, it's probably $1,000, and it may be even more that you have to adjust your status. And we didn't have to do that because we were already married. And but it does give you a more of an opportunity to see if everything's going to work out. If it doesn't, then she has to go back to the Philippines. It's a 90-day fiance visa. I've not checked much into the pros and cons of that. For us, Rhino, it just came down that she wanted to marry there. And I said, okay, I guess I'll be going to the Philippines. And I'm glad I did. That was 4 years ago. I can't believe it. And it was well worth it. That's why I have a channel called Love Beyond the Sea, because I want to help other men find love beyond the sea. It really doesn't matter if it's in the Philippines or somewhere else, somewhere on this earth, because, this is a pro marriage channel. At least I'm very much in favor of marriage. I could have given up very easily. It was extremely depressing for a while. And I kind of wondered if I had done some kind of irreparable emotional harm because I had waited so long, but not intentionally. So
Say hi.
you can say hi. This is my lovely Isa.
I just get out.
She got up. Um, we had a busy day, didn't we, sweetie? Doing some shopping. You got some food from the Philippines that you love to eat, and there's some things I probably should try sooner or later. We got a few people here. New York Mets fan 2006. Uh, Rhino Wisdom was asking about why I didn't choose a Filipina or a fiance visa and bring her back to marry, and I chose a spousal visa. And my response to Rhino was because you wanted to get married in uh, in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
Mm,
That's what was best for you. So
yeah, I think fiance visa is quicker, but it's nice to go there first and I mean, it's nice to get married there. I mean, it's up to what's your preference, but I think it's nice to go there, get
Oh,
married
yeah.
there. In that way, you could see the family and the friends. You could meet them, and then the celebration. It's quite different. Um, you
I
know,
love the celebrations.
yeah,
I was telling them we're going to,
but I mean, fiance visa is quicker.
it's quicker, but then your family,
Yeah.
unless they had been to the Philippines before, where,
Mm,
okay, we know this guy, we've given you our impressions of this guy, he's seen the Philippines,
that
he accepts you where you're from and your country, and then that's different.
yeah.
And he's not going
Um,
to be shocked.
that would be okay.
A twit in the Philippines. Did you see the Twist series, 90 Days Fiance the Other Way? Have you heard about that, hon?
The what? The
This question right here.
the
90 Days Fiance the Other Way.
no,
I don't even know what that would.
the
Oh,
90.
is that about
Oh,
where
that show.
is that where the guy goes to the other country, probably on a fiance visa to live from, let's say I go to Philippines to live there or something. That would be the other way. Yeah, the American moves to the other country. Yeah. Well, that is a twist for sure. So they have a series out on where instead of the woman coming from another country on a 90-day visa, fiance visa,
And
it's the American goes to the other country.
hmm.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we're going to see more of that in the future. But no, I'm glad you said that. I may have to check that out and see how that goes. But I am not familiar with that show. J Bud 5000 is here. Thank you, J Bud, for being here and waiting. Now that Ice is on board, red ribbon butter
Later.
mammon. What can you tell us about that, hon?
The what?
This
Do
red
you
ribbon
do you
butter
think
mammon. What about it?
yeah, 80%. I would agree with that.
I'm asking him. I'm asking about this one, hon.
Yeah. Do you think that living in a
No,
secure?
red ribbon
What?
butter mammon, right here. This question.
Oh, I thought
Wake
you.
up.
Yeah.
I
I'm
have
sorry. I'm
coffee
still
here, sweetie.
sleeping.
I know. That's why I have coffee. You want coffee?
That's okay.
Okay.
Otherwise, I can't sleep later. Um.
I don't know what red ribbon butter mammon is. You must. If J Bud knows, you know.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's 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 not a cake, but it's kind of cake, and it's kind of bread.
Did
Let's put that way.
did they have that in the Asian market today?
They not the red ribbon, but instead Goldilocks.
Oh, really? And it's the same
Yeah.
thing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like it?
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of hesitant to try things that have just a little bit different taste than what I'm used to. I guess I'm kind of on the picky side. But now, New York Mets fan said, "Do you think living in a secured housing
Oh, that's what I
subdivision
meant to say.
provides more security
Mm-hmm.
from theft?" Good question,
Uh, just like what I said, I agree with that. Maybe 80% more secured.
but not 100%. Somebody can
Yeah,
still pull
exactly.
something.
If a person is really wants to steal something, they're gonna find their ways. Those kind of people, they're gonna find their ways.
How do they get past the guard? Because there's always somebody there.
They have their ways, and
What, bribe him?
yeah,
Wait
they
till
have their
he's
ways.
not there? Or I don't know how they would get past him.
Mm.
That's the main security feature for me is you can't just saunter in there. You have to what, show them something, your license or identification before you go in there if you're a stranger.
Yeah, just like
Well,
my no, not you. It was me and JR. We went to my friend's house, and they asked why we are here. Which
oh yeah.
what house, like, so who are your friend. So they ask some question, but they don't ask for our life. Let me see. Let me think about. Oh, the other one, the other one. They asked for our like for ID.
Hmm. Well, you took us on a tour of a nice subdivision
Oh, my
one
cousin.
day.
Yeah, they
Well, that was
asked for.
JR, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, they asked for identification cards.
That was a nice place. In fact, we started walking around. Appreciate the six people here, and please ask. I've got some questions too, but this is your chance to ask Isa. And Isa will be honest. She has no reason to pull any punches with you on her questions, but yeah, people are concerned about theft. I know it was who was it? Mike Philippines or my Philip? What you know who I'm talking about? Who had like he had the heart attack, unfortunately, but he had like 5 times he said he got robbed early on in the Philippines, and I don't know where he was staying, but it probably wasn't a subdivision. So that's a good question. And in Davao, where we were snooping around, just looking at these, they had smaller units. They had big level, 2 level, 3 level homes, subdivision homes. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you name it. They had all kinds of sizes there. A twit in the Philippines. Yeah, American moves the other country. Maureen, Michelle, and Ken, thank you for being here
Hello.
today. I appreciate that. Eggs sunny side up, hot dogs and rice is life. What do you think about that, hon? That's what Jay
Mm,
Bud says.
that sounds good.
You like that?
Oh.
What do I subsist on most of the time in the Philippines? Scrambled eggs and rice, isn't it?
And corned beef.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, corned beef.
Corned beef mixed in with the rice or mixed in with the eggs, and I
Mm.
still eat that once in a while. Isa prepares that for me to take to work. It's really good. I mean, I used to eat hash as a kid, and hash is good, mixed in with eggs. Absolutely. And we had a question up here about am I ready to right here? Am I ready to move to the Philippines, retire? A lot of considerations. One of them is the diet. I just asked Isa today, can I have fish every day
Mm.
and brown rice? Because I think I
Yeah,
could
I
live
can
on
live with
that.
that.
I would have to give up my choice, probably hamburger and steaks. Now, honey and Davao, we can get good steaks somewhere, restaurants probably,
Yes, yeah.
but not.
We can make our own.
What about supermarkets? Can we go to a mall, go to a
Mm.
supermarket and get some
Mm-hmm.
quality beef?
Yeah,
Okay.
Kisanomo, right? We always go there.
And since I'm mentioning beef and Americans love beef, at least we do here in the Midwest, a hamburger, depending, well,
Crab.
let's say you get $3.54 a pound for hamburger here. What would it cost in Davao?
Eh, huh.
More or less, about the
It could
same?
be more.
More expensive?
But
Well,
well, here in Nebraska, we have a lot of we have beef.
your family might
Mm.
like eating beef. Might have to
Mm.
introduce them to eating beef. I'm sure I'll be introduced to eating lots of
So
different things.
um, because there are times that if it is on sale, it's only a dollar something per pound, which is uh that's 75 pesos. No, that is, yeah, 75 pesos per pound. And beef there, it's kind of expensive.
Hmm. Yeah, it is. Fish is maybe less expensive then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, well that's
Compared
good.
here.
That might be the trade-off for me: less beef, more fish. New York Mets fan, 2006. Some videos talking about the Philippines discussed that apartments were robbed as soon as an expat took a trip away from their apartment. This must be due to placing lower cost over security. Well, that depends. I mean, yeah, if you're going to give up some on security, then people can kind of tell there's a new kid in town, right, hon? And he has to be careful. I have seen some videos on safes. Of course, you can always steal the safe, I suppose, but some places do have a built-in safe there that you can put your belongings.
Hmm.
Oh, I don't know, like some of your documents, maybe. money, passport, and so on. But those are some things you don't want to lose. I don't know why anybody would want to steal that. Probably not. But you definitely would be concerned because if somebody wants to get it bad enough, they can be a friend of somebody. It can be somebody you're family member, somebody you're
Mm-hmm.
not expecting to steal something, and they get in, sign in, check in through the security, and then when they have a chance, they take something. Oh,
Yeah,
Tim
it
Tom Red
happens all
Pill
the time.
all the time. Well, that is something to beware of. Then
Mm-hmm.
um, is when you're staying, security place might don't think it's 100% foolproof. And we have Tim Tom Red Pill is here. Hello, Tim Tom. Glad you're here again this time for Isa's live stream. And the question here from Rhino: how
How
is the
is the
seafood
seafood?
there? Crab and lobster.
Oh, absolutely incredible.
Have I had any crab or lobster when we've been there, huh?
Shrimp.
I had shrimp. Okay.
Yeah,
I
shrimp.
okay. Well, yeah, the lobster. How do you? The problem is lobster and crab is getting it apart enough. I have such a little piece left
Yeah,
to eat. I guess there's a skill,
so as crabs. It's just too hard to eat it, you know.
but it sure tastes good.
Oh yeah.
But here, um, let's see, is it lobster? Lobster very expensive, probably $20 a plate. If we went to a seafood place here, it'd probably be, at least it used to be, about $20 for a plate
Over
of.
here, yeah,
It
it's
may be more
expensive.
than that now.
Yeah. Um, especially when you go to a restaurant when they
Mm-hmm.
serve here
Mm-hmm.
when they serve crab legs. Uh, the last time my friends and I we went to a restaurant, it was actually $15 per person.
All you can eat.
It was Sunday. Yes, it was Sunday.
All you can eat until they see me come in there,
Mm.
and all of a sudden that's going to $30. All you can eat because, well, some of us foreigners have bigger appetites. Like you said last time, we pile up food on our plates. Uh, kind of shocking to you. Jollibee spaghetti, J Bud
Mm.
5000. I like
Manginasal.
Jollibee spaghetti.
Yeah, I like Jollibee as well.
How many days a week do you remember us going to Jollibee when we're there?
Every
Two,
day.
three? You go every day?
I
Okay.
mean,
I
you
don't
were
want to eat
there when you were there. We always order spaghetti.
spaghetti. I like those little
Mm-hmm.
wieners. That's a good taste.
Uh-huh. And
And
burgers.
a hamburger. That's it.
Of course, I love their chicken.
Eyes likes the chicken. I don't know if I've really ever ordered the chicken.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
not really a big fan of, spaghetti. I'd rather eat chicken and rice.
well, that's okay. I don't want to make a living at Jollibee, but I do like that their spaghetti. Mets fan 2006. My favorite meal in Manila. He was just in Manila in July for 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's back. My favorite meal in Manila was chicken
Chicken. Oh, inasal.
inasal.
Mm-hmm.
How do you pronounce this?
Mang inasal. Mang.
Mang Inasal restaurant.
Yes.
Familiar with this place?
Oh yeah.
Really?
They have a they make a really good chicken barbecue.
Hmm.
That's their signature.
Well, I mean, are these places all kind of expensive?
Not really. For a person, you could eat probably less than $100. Oh no, less than 100 pesos, which is $2.
At a restaurant like this? This
I
one
think
here?
so. I think
Hmm.
so. Or 115, and then you have that one one big piece of chicken and a rice and a limited rice. Could be less than 100 or 100
While we're
or
well,
more than 100.
while you're
I'm
talking
not
about
sure with the
price of
price.
food, okay. While you're talking about price of food, one of the things people will want to know in the Philippines, do those prices apply to Westerners too? Because they say this is the price. Can anybody try to overcharge you for a stated
No,
price?
I don't think so. This kind of restaurants, I don't think so. Because whatever it says on the menu, you ordered it, and then whatever the price is, you pay for it. And then it's up to you if you're gonna give them some extra or what. But usually no.
You're good about tipping.
I do give
Isa
some.
does tip. And you guys tip when you go to the Philippines. I know some people do, some people don't, but Isa's a very, very good tipper.
I do give some tips.
Very generous. J Bud 5000. A pretty Filipina can make balut taste good, but she has to be pretty.
Oh,
This J Bud here, hon, I think,
considering that you have to be pretty.
well, and he's trying to send some message here, I think, about he's not going to give up his balut until I actually consume it here on
Oh gosh.
live on YouTube, and that's a possibility, Jay Bud. We we may be moving in that direction. If it can help me gain some subscribers, I guess I can try it. Just kind of update my will, and then try to eat balut someday. That's a possibility. Did you see this with Bob Twit in the Philippines? And I want to see.
Which one? I think down below, right there. What's that?
SDAXI8
It's a
NIQO. I don't know what that
it's a
means.
video.
Oh, did I see this? Is that a video? I can check it out later, but right now it's hard to tell by looking at it. Twit in the Philippines. Um, what this is? But please elaborate.
Okay.
Tim Tom Red Pill.
Who's that? I don't know. I'm sorry. She said, "Hi, Day. Queenie here. Gamit lang na ako akong account sa akong fiance."
Well, that's Tim Tom Red Pill, and I don't know what
Okay.
that means.
Oh, hello, Team Tom Red Pill. Hello. Kumusta?
Is that Tim's fiance maybe?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I saw Tim Tom. Tim Tom has a channel, and I don't know,
And then,
570 subscribers, and I know he was getting
kabalo about
engaged.
ana yun. Oh, she's asking me, giunsa nimo pagkabalo about ana you trabaho nimo naa nag-recommend nimo? What can, oh, my job? Are you referring my job right now? Giunsa nimo pagkabalo about ana you trabaho nimo naa nag-recommend nimo?
Is she asking you about your
I
employment?
siguro, probably, I think so. She's referring, okay, she's referring my job. I actually applied. Pwede na ako, can I speak in English so that everybody could understand it? Is it okay? All right.
I think she must know some English.
Of course. And I'm just wanna, make it sure that everybody could understand. Um, okay, she said it's okay. Of course.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I applied first right before I came over here in the United States. We actually, by the help of Bob, I applied in an agency, and then when I got here and we notified them that okay, I'm ready here, um, I went to their place. I went to the office, and then they interviewed me. And right after the interview, but I told them I want this specific job. If there's an opening position, let me know, and then I'm willing to work. And then they offered me a whole bunch of work, and I said no, I don't wanna, I don't want that kind of job because I don't know how to drive yet. So since my husband works there, I wanna also work there. So when time come that there was an opening in that company, they they called me and said, "Hey, Isa, we had an opening. We have an opening job for you." So, and I said, "What company?" And then they said, "Here." And this company, I said, "Okay." And then I grabbed that opportunity. But I applied first in that. in that agency, which is temporary. And then right um, after a year, I got hired on as a permanent. No, without recommendation, actually. No,
Well,
I
you
just applied for it.
okay, but did have to fill out a resume
I
with
did
some
apply. Yes,
recommendations, or
yes. Well, I put your name on, but they already knew me. They already knew me that I'm Pop's wife.
hmm.
So it was pretty quick. It actually was pretty quick. And since Bob has been working there.
Hon, there have been a lot of people leave since he worked there. Isa never
Okay.
left. Once she
Yeah.
got hired, she's been there ever since.
She has a question. GS lang na ako in our language para makaswapog ka. Oh, I see. That's cool. Thanks for the info on sa exact work. Um, okay, I cannot tell the name of the company, but I work in a manufacturing, which is we package vaccines, um, animal health, um, and then I was luckily offered a QA job. I'm a QA now, which is I do some documentation stuff like that. I do work online as well, but overall I do work online. Do I deal with the paperworks. I train people. So if there's a new people, I train them. If they tell me I train this person, then I train them. No, I work in a company.
Yeah,
Um, no, I don't work at home.
we both worked there, and interestingly enough, we know someone else that recently immigrated his wife from the Philippines. They also worked there.
But
Now they're working in a different company
here,
together.
here they do trainings. Okay, you don't have to worry when you work here. I'm not sure with the other states, but probably that's they do some trainings when you come in. You in your first day of job, they show you how to do the job. They train you. Okay, um, let's say Isa. Okay, this is the way how to do it, how to do the job. They show you. They have trainings. I undergo trainings. You have to read SOP. Uh, a lot of things. So don't worry if you come here and then if you want to work, they're gonna train you. Somebody's gonna train you. Just like what I'm doing as well. If there's new people, they tell me, Isa, train this person. Then I do train them to show them, okay, this is how to do the job and stuff like this. You gotta be anything about related job.
And Isa is a good trainer because she's patient. Oh, hi, Michael and Heidi. Glad to have you here tonight. Isa's live stream.
Okay. Oh wow, that's great. Ga-accept gid sila undergrads. As long as it's easy. I mean, it's easy to get a job when you finish your high school. That's the main. That's the main one there. You if you finish your high school, you're fine. But if you don't, it's kind of hard to get a good paying job because they some companies they don't, as long as you're finished high school, that's it. They don't care about if you college graduate or finish your master's degree. They don't care as long as you finish your high school. That's it. That's the main one there. You just finish your high school, and then I'm telling you, you could get a good paying job.
Now, I hope everybody stays with me here because I've got some questions coming up that are going to be very, very
Yeah, you're welcome.
informative. And they're the type of questions that J Bud 5000 would ask, except I beat him to it. And I'll ask those eventually here to Isa. But, Hun, what's the most important thing you'd like Western men to know about the Philippines? Let's say the man has never been there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's seen some videos, but he can't really tell if those videos are just kind of showing the rosy side all the
The
time.
bad side of the
And I know the
Philippines.
Philippines is a big place, but in
Yeah.
general, what do you want a Western man to know about your country, the Philippines, where you lived for, until you married me and came here?
Mm. Well, first of all, don't afraid to go there. It's some places are not safe, but there is still a lot of places that are safe, and Philippines is a good place to visit. People are nice, people are friendly, very accommodating. Food, oh, food are awesome. Gosh, I miss the Philippines.
That's why we
Oh,
go to the Asian
yeah,
market to
I
buy
miss
some
the Philippines.
food
Yeah,
for her.
the food is, the food are incredible. So it's awesome. The, the place itself, the sceneries, it's beautiful. It's a Philippines, a beautiful place. I always, if I always tells this to my, to my friends that, oh, the Philippines is a good place to go visit. Don't just covered by those very blinded with those bad image of the Philippines. No, it's not it's a good place to go, and people are very nice.
Before we get to rhinos, very interesting question. The language. What does a Westerner have to know about the language? Is he going to have any trouble?
Oh, that's not rhino, and that's
I know,
tim
but
tim tom.
I just want to cover the language from a
Oh, that's
Westerner.
tim tom.
Yeah, a Westerner says, "Well, I'm kind of uncomfortable with the language. I don't
Oh, yeah.
speak Tagalog and stuff." Is he going to be able to communicate easily in, let's say, English in the
Oh, the culture.
Philippines?
Oh, to be honest, I was actually you always have that cultural shock.
Oh, are you talking about yours or mine?
Um, I think that's no
Oh,
that
she's
that
maybe
no
referring to
that's
your experience.
yes, that's
Okay,
Tim Tom Redenfield.
okay,
That's his fiance.
okay. Well, how about?
Is Tom the guy there?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's
Okay.
got his channel.
Okay.
So,
She's I think she's referring the culture. I I mean it's it's part of living in a different country. It's there's always a cultural shock. I still have cultural shock. With the culture, with the language. Yes, there's some kind of real language that you don't want to listen to it.
oh, bad language. Yeah.
Yeah, and when it comes to conversation, um, okay, I always sometimes I tell them, okay, hold on, I don't understand what you said. Could you please repeat it? Like it's just it's too fast. It's too fast. I like, yeah, I like what? What did you say? I'm sorry. I said that sometimes.
And that's the right way to do it, hon.
Yeah,
Is
like
just instead of just nodding your head and
yeah.
like I have no idea what you're talking about, just say, would you
Sometimes,
please
hey,
repeat
because
that,
sometimes
please?
there's because there's some people just it's just so hard to understand them, and that's the barrier. Is it's too hard for you to understand them, and then it's hard for them to understand you. So you have that language barrier, and it's like sometimes like okay, back in my mind, I don't understand what he is she's saying, but what? I'm like, could you please repeat it? Like, I always said that. Could you please repeat it?
Okay, now, hon. And as far as the Western man learning the culture and language before going to the Philippines, what do they need to prepare for the Westerners out there
Mm.
to prepare for what they're going to see? Let's assume they've never been there before.
Mm-hmm.
What
Learn.
do they need to do to prepare themselves for the culture and the language?
It's nice if you kind of have that, like uh, before you go first, you have that idea that okay, I'm gonna be prepared to go to this country to that different country, but um, I think to me it's just so easy when a foreigner go to the Philippines. Um, you always have the cultural shock, but somehow you have that uh, point that you just go with the flow because because Filipinos are easy to be with, you know. Um, yeah, to me, it's a good idea. I think so. I
Um,
should learn at least a little bit, just the background. What's the background? What's the culture of the Philippines, their language. I think it would help you just to learn just the basic, understand the basic culture and then the language. But just like what I've said, when you go there, it will go with you just go with the flow because Filipinos, it's just so easy to be with,
Big
you
difference
know.
though between, let's say, Metro Manila and somewhere out in the province. So, I mean, which part of the Philippines? They may have to prepare for more of a rural place for one Filipina that he is pursuing, and then another place, the city, and those places could be different. Now, here's a very interesting question by Rhino Wisdom Hun. We want to answer honestly because I want this to be about truth in this channel. He says he is in sales financially. He doesn't need his wife to work. Will, or I don't know if you're talking Rhino theoretically, or if you are married or have fiance, but in general now, hon, if the husband does not need her to work, is she still going to want to work anyway?
Yes,
You
absolutely.
think so?
I
You're
think
that
so.
sure?
I think so.
Can you tell us why?
This is based on. I'm gonna base my experience, okay? This and then my experience and then my own perspective in life. Um, I think if I'd rather work than to stay home, because of course I wanna have my own money, where I can't I'd rather not to depend all the time to Bob. Because if you work and then if you earn, you have that kind of attitude where, okay, um I don't have to I don't have to rely on my husband. If I spend something, if I want to buy something, I don't have to keep relying to my husband and keep asking from him. But because you earn, because you're earning, you have your own money. We have needs. As a woman, we have needs.
Would a purse be a need, hon?
Um,
Purse number 12?
of course. I mean,
Okay, I
that's
thought
part.
so.
That's part of as a woman. That's I have to be realistic here. That's part of a woman. You have you have your needs. Yeah, kind of your needs and your wants. You want to buy lipstick, and then how could you buy lipstick if you don't the if you don't earn, if you don't have, if you
Well, those are
if you
less expensive items,
yes,
but
I mean,
there's cell
there's
phones,
some,
there's
but those are
gadgets.
kind of but those are kind of things that as a woman,
You got
you
to have
know
those.
yes.
But
But as a woman, I'd rather work. I don't want to depend. I don't want to keep depending on Bob.
and
Just
I
to buy something, I have to, hey, hon, can I buy this? No, I cannot. No, I'd rather work.
she'd rather work.
Except,
Yes.
except, I think it's in a different. Let's say if you have kids, well, you really need to prioritize your kids. But if you guys don't have, not yet, don't have yet kids, why not just work? Later on, if you have kids, then that your wife are gonna stay forever at home, and um and then gonna spend her time all the time with the kids. So right now, why not let her work?
That's a factor
Yeah,
if you
why
have
not let her
children.
work? And
To
then
get rid of these.
when the time comes that you guys both have kids, and maybe your wife could stay home. But right now, just allow her to work.
I think that's the wise. Now, Isa just bought her own phone and she didn't let me help her with that. And she knew how many hours overtime she had to work to
Yeah,
do
this
it.
kind. Yeah,
So
yeah.
she did. Might
It's
have
kind of
taken three or
stuff.
4 weeks.
Because as a woman, it's part of us a woman.
Well, but not everybody, every Filipino would do that. She might want her husband or demand her husband to pay for that phone. It helps Isa be responsible to work in the first place,
Mm-hmm.
where she has to manage her money, and she's managing her money now in a country where everything is very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And if you, excuse me, if you have credit cards, well, then the money is due at a certain time. You don't get to choose whenever you want to pay it back. So, yeah, you kind of have to let her learn that way, how to manage money. And it's not that I don't help
That would be a
her.
big
I do
factor,
help
and
her.
since um he's a he's in sales and financial.
Yeah, he's saying, uh, will she still want to work? And
Oh, okay. Well, he said, oh, there's another one.
it depends, but I'm
My
not
wife wants
surprised at
to stay
Isa's
at home,
answer.
and I agree. Well, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. If your wife, wants to stay home, that's absolutely fine. You know, if you guys both okay with it, then why not?
Yeah,
No stress. No stress at
everybody's
all.
different. Now, Michael, one thing I would be prepared for, or at least something that could happen, is boredom. And I do have a video on boredom in one of the
There's
260
here's a
videos.
question. Isa, what was it like when you're like for your first time driving on the freeway at like 120 kilometers per hour? What is 120 kilometers? 80?
I don't know. I think you hit
80?
80 today.
Oh, it was, I was so scared actually.
The
I was
first time, yeah.
the first time, the first time is always so scared. I was so scared the very first time. It took me at least a year and a half or 2 years just to drive in a freeway because I was really scared, and I have that fears, when I'm next to those big trucks. I I get panic. Um, but I have to overcome those kind of fears. So one day I told Bob, I wanna go I wanna go in an interstate, I wanna go drive there. And right now, since I've been driving the freeway, most of the time, if we go buy my food, um, I'm very comfortable now because I overcome those fears. But
And
it was really crazy. It was really I was really scared.
well, at least it's three-lane highway here. It's not like, I don't know, Paris or Chicago or Los Angeles.
Yeah.
At that point, I would have to think twice, theoretically, if I were there, about even allowing her to drive. I mean,
But the bad part about
that is
in the
something to think
freeway,
about.
and when you miss your exit, you
Yeah.
just gotta go around it.
Thankfully, there's GPS. And Isa and I taped a video of the day where Isa's talking to ostensibly to Filipinos about her driving experience here in the United States. And I asked her some questions about her driving. We were on the interstate today. So sometime this week, I will get that video going for you. So I just want to make sure, hon, I don't forget somebody here. Um, Michael and Heidi, lots of older Americans go to the Philippines thinking it's the same as the US, having the same expectation, quality of life, English, etc.
Mm.
So, well, I suppose if they're in a bigger place, like more expensive place like Manila or Cebu, I suppose maybe there are some similarities. But I think most foreigners, Westerners, would like to get away from all of that and would like to kind of have a little taste of the
Yeah,
rural life,
yeah,
not so
the different life,
crowded.
you know. Well, I would say it's a really big different living from here to the Philippines. I would uh, it's a big it's it's a big decision to make, moving from a different country to to the Philippines from here to the Philippines. It's it's a big decision to make. It's a really big also different big different.
Yeah, because once you're there, you don't want to
Yes,
say, "Oh
it's
my." And some foreigners do. They'll live there, move there, and then 2 or 3 months in, just
the
realize,
hustle
"Oh, you know
bustle.
what? Yeah, this isn't what I signed up for." But to wrap this question up, Michael and Heidi says, if Bob makes enough, what are you afraid of as far as Bob? Let's say, hon, I make 150,000 USD a year. I don't think you'll have to work at all. You can
Mm,
just stay home. You'd
okay,
still want to work, right?
I yeah, I think so. I still want to work,
And
even
that
if I still want to work. I wanna have my own things. I mean, to be honest, I'd rather work.
that's just my wife.
I mean,
Everybody
this is
is
my
going to
own
be different.
perspective. This is my own, this is my own perspective. I'd rather work.
But no doubt, if you are communicating with Filipina and you're sure you're going to marry
And
her, you better ask her about her intentions for work and
okay, let's face
don't
this.
assume
Let's face
anything.
this. We help our family, and I send money back home. With Bob's, um, you know, we talk about it like, hun, I'm gonna send money with Bob's permission. And I don't want to keep asking Bob, for that. So that's why I'd rather work. It's not it's not because I love more my family. Loving, those kind of situation. Love your family and then you love your husband as well. But I I can't stand not helping my mom and my parents especially. So
Well,
and I don't want to keep asking money from from Bob.
and Michael, you're probably like me, or I'm like you. You want to help your wife if she needs something. You're right there for her. But in Isa's case, um, she wants this is just her. She wants to be responsible for what she makes. It doesn't mean I don't help her. And quite frankly, with the things that she does help us with, I'm glad she is working because, we won't go into everything she helps, but she does help with some of the monthly expenses as well as the Philippines. Yes, hon, this is very true.
Oh yeah,
I
101%.
I would do anything for her, and I do love her very much. Um, but if Isa said, you know what, I'll take you up on that offer, because I did tell her when she got here, hon. Well, I mean, it's just
He
she just
actually
got
told me.
here.
He actually told me, um, you can stay home. He actually told me, and I said, no, no, I don't wanna stay home and just lay down every day. I'd rather work. I'd rather mm, be be having my own, have my own salary and help, and of course, because I send money back home, and then I don't want to just, keep asking back from that.
Well,
So
let's get to this question here then. Is it challenging for a Filipina to say no sometimes for financial help to her family? Because her family is probably she's gonna be
mm,
asked from different
mm,
angles.
mm-hmm.
Hey, we need some help with this. We need some
Yeah.
help with that. Can you be real frank here about
Yes.
this question? Like, delete that.
Sometimes I say no. Sometimes I ignore. If it is need, then I help. But if it's only a once, no, sorry, I don't. I mean, we have our own bills here. I always explain it to my family that I have car bills. We do have car bills.
Two
We have
cars.
insurance to pay. Uh, we have garbage bill. We have any bills, like a lot of bills. So you guys should understand those. And then sometimes, there's things like, okay, it's my birthday today, and then it's my nephew's birthday, or my niece's, birthdays, and I said like, well, I kind of ignore those because if if you guys, whatever you can afford, then just, just go celebrate whatever you guys could afford. But me giving those kind of stuff all the time, I don't. I mean, to me, sometimes I say, kind of back it off. No, you know that's beyond. That's beyond. Oh, Isa, I need, um I want cell phone. Like, I can't ignore those kind of things. It's wants.
But if somebody has a medical need, for
If someone is
example,
have a medical,
we're right on top of
yes,
that.
I you could always count me and Bob if my family have something to do with, to do with those emergencies. I always help. We always help. But just like what I said, if it's once, I kind of, I try to ignore. I try to ignore it, and just ignore it. I
Well,
don't reply most. I don't. Sometimes I don't reply. I just ignore the message. I think it's better that way, because if I ignore the message, that means, okay, I'm not gonna help because it's only a once, you know. But if I reply, okay, that means, okay, I wanna help. But
well,
if I most of the time I ignore it, just ignore the message.
the reason I ask, hon, is because a lot of foreigners have this impression that as soon as a request for money comes in, that money's going out. It's just automatic. That the
No,
Filipino is never going to say no.
no, oh no, no, that's not true. I sometimes say no. That's It's depend, it's depend on the situation. But in my case, sometimes I say no. No, no, I don't. That's beyond.
Well, hon, do you think it's fair to talk about this before a man marries a Filipina?
Mm,
To say, well,
yes.
how are you going to handle requests for money
Mm.
from your family? I want to know that before I
Yes, you
marry
have
you.
to. Yes, you have to discuss those kind of stuff, because when it comes to money, you really have to discuss. If because to because your wife, we're gonna, whether you like it or not, your wife is gonna help her family. That's the factor. That's the main there. They're gonna help their family no matter what. And as a husband, you should at least, kind of consider that's part of their culture. That's part of our culture. We help our our parents, our family, our siblings, and at least, your at least husband should understand those, consider those. It's it's part of marrying a Filipina. If you marry a Filipina, you marry also the entire family. It's not just like you marry
That's
the entire
true.
family, but at least, give them, show to them that you care about them as well. Because if you show them and you feel to them that you care about them, they're gonna care about you too. And to be honest, my mom always tells me, take care of your husband. He always tells me that.
She,
Yeah, she always tells, even my dad, she always tells me that, like,
he.
no, my mom, I'm
Oh,
referring my
okay.
mom. My mom, she always tells me that, like, you gotta take care of your husband, because your husband is a really good person. She always tells me that. My dad has been telling me, take care of your husband, how's everything, my mom always check me all the time, because
Oh,
how's everything, like, because they love Bob, because Bob loves my family.
well, that's
That's
another
why.
question I want to ask you about, hun, which is a very important question. But before I do, Rhino says he loved the video where I said, imagine Smoke on the Water on an intro song, because I can't play it because of copyright laws. I did one video and I just said, pretend in your mind, smoke on the water, da 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 da. I would play that because I think it'd make a good intro to a video, but I'm afraid to deal with. I do have strikes, almost, or violations. I don't know what you call them on most of my videos with songs in it, but they usually tell you that it's okay. You don't have to do anything. You just won't get monetized for it. Now, another hardball question for Isa, because I know
Next question there,
people
but
are
okay,
thinking
go
about
for
it.
it.
Okay, I wanted to break it up here, but you segued right into one of the questions I wanted to ask you, and and that is this: will a husband love her family? Excuse me. Will a Filipina love her family more than her
More than.
husband? I see this time and time again.
Oh,
Guys, that Filipina is always going to love her family
it
more than
says.
her husband. So, what? Think carefully, but
Mm,
what would your response be? Because I never see anybody stick up for the Filipina or try to explain it from her vantage point. But this idea that a Filipina is always going to love her husband or love her family more than her husband, what do you think?
mm, um, that's not more, but I would say in a different level. Okay, there's a lot. There are kinds of love. There's a love for your husband, and then there's a love for your parents and for your siblings and for your family. My love is to my family is a different for Bob. The level, okay. For Bob, it's very compassionate. It's for the love of my family. It's in a different level. I have a strong love for my family because, especially to my parents, because they raised me, especially my mom. Um, because for 9 months I was in her womb and taking care of me for since the day I was born, and I have to return those kind of love that they gave me. So that I want to say, like, it's not to me. I kind of define that in a different level of love. It's not just you love. I love more my family more than Bob. It's actually equal. It's balance.
It's a different type of love.
It's a different type of love.
And this, I reason I bring this question up, and the reason I'm going to do a video on it is because I don't want men to be scared off by
And
the
because
fact that, oh, if I'm not going to get love, then why marry a Filipina? But that's not the issue. The issue is she going to love her family more than you? And the answer is no.
no, Han, because mostly they think because Filipina, they help their family, they send back you know money back home and always there. That's probably why uh foreigners think that way. But I don't. To me, I don't kind of. I don't really agree 100% with it because just like what I've mentioned, it's a different kind of love. It's what to your husband and to your family. And then just like what it said as well, it's like what I mentioned, that it's part also of our culture to take care of our parents, to take care of our siblings. And since you come here in the United States and probably have a good job, and why not help? You know,
I've
you could share your blessings.
I've always said, hon, Filipina wants to provide for her family. She's going to make a good choice as to the character and the man she marries, but she wants to help her family. That doesn't mean
Absolutely.
that she married him for his money.
No, I don't. No, not.
And loving her family and wanting to do everything she can does not mean that she it's not a competition. That's my takeaway. It's not a competition. So I don't feel like, you know what, Isa's kind of siding more with her family. I got to do something. No, Isa loves her family. That's
I can.
one thing I knew. One of the few things I knew before I went to the Philippines is that they were very strong in family. Now I know more than I did before because I see it in action. Filipina loves her family and she'll sacrifice for her family. But what you never hear people rebut on these YouTube comments is that she can love both. There's a love called filial, which is a brotherly affection, like for family. That's what's so strong for the Filipina. A big mistake I could make was it would be to try to interfere with that. A mistake would be to try to compete with that. It would be a mistake for me to feel threatened by that love for her family. What I can do and what I recommend is embrace her love for her family. How do you embrace it? Well, you accept it that it's well, her family was in her life long before me. Okay. And she's going to want to take care of her family. I think that's a big reason why, she's looking to go to the West. Now that's different though than the type of man she marries. Those are the Filipina can do both. And look, as a husband, and I'm sure many husbands of Filipinas will agree with me, their needs are met. They're happy. They're satisfied with their wife. Their wife, meanwhile, is also able to meet the needs of her family. She's a woman. She can do both. She's a Filipina. She's amazing, and no, it's nothing. It's nothing to worry about. She
And
can definitely do both.
I kind of also, understand those foreigners who think that way because um they got some of them they got scammed because because of the Filipinas, the Philip um they just Filipinos just want their money, and after that they just uh left them alone, which is I kind of understand as well, but if you just go with the positive side, as a couple, as a Filipino and as a Filipina and an American couple, or even foreign any nationalities, let's just go with the positive side that no, if a Filipina, I mean, it's a big factor as well when it comes to money matters. It's a big factor as in your relationship that at least your husband kind of help you to to kind of help your family and send money back home, because that is the main reason why there's always trouble when it comes to in your relationship. Money, that's the first one. Money,
Well,
that's
and
the main, that's the main one there.
well, that's one way the Filipina shows love
Yes,
to her family. She
but
sees the
but
needs.
if you have a husband like Bob who always support me, support me to, okay, Han, just if they need it, then go ahead, send it, send money back home, help them. Your relationship is really um and that point that no chaos at all, no trouble, no arguments. We sometimes have an argument, but most of the time, not really. I don't know when was the last time we had an argument because we have the same, we always in that the same spot. He understand the situation. Um, he Bob just and okay, very considerate. Like okay, Han, just okay, help them. That's why our relationship is really strong because he helped me. He take care of me. He take care of my family. He understand the culture, and probably that's the way how could be. That's the way how love is. You have to sacrifice as well. You have to be considerate.
Right. I'm the one that pursued a Filipina. I'm the one that petitioned her for me to marry her and say, okay, now I'd like to undo hundreds or thousands of years of history and culture is just a bad idea. So, for example, Michael says, I really enjoy taking care of my wife as God
That's
calls me
good.
to do. It's what men are wired for. I agree. Enjoy taking care of my Filipino family. Um, and I mean, yeah, I. Somebody asked, New York Mets fan asked earlier tonight about, am I looking forward to retiring?
Retire.
And one of the things I've said to Isa, I'm really looking forward to getting to know your family more. Now, I know her family. I've been there 3 times, but
3 times?
well, to marry you the first time, and then in 17, or was it 16?
16.
16, we went back 7 weeks, 7 months after she got here.
Means.
And we went in 18
Mhm.
and got our house started. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so this will be the fourth time. We'll be there for a
Mhm.
month. The children are still small. They're scared of me. They were scared of me, but I shaved my beard and I can't do anything about my height. But I want her family to know more than ever. I love my wife's family. They're kind of my family too. That's the way I look at it. I might say to her, them or their as if, her family. But the bottom line is, stepped into her world when I petitioned her to marry her. Now, like I said, a Filipina is more than capable of loving her family in the way she needs to and loving her husband in the ways that he needs to. I don't see any competition. I don't see there's any reason to be insecure. I don't see any reason to be threatened by her family. Embrace them, as much as you can. And I think that's just a very, very
Oh, that's a
good
very
idea
interesting
for
question there,
you.
Han. How about make the guys who like and get along with be nice but don't want to change the marriage thing again?
You know what
They
MGTOW
are
is, huh?
no, yeah, men go with their own way.
Incredible.
Um,
Give her you want a piece of chocolate for that? That's
it's
amazing.
okay.
Okay.
To me, they're coward. They're very afraid of commitments.
But Han, a lot of men,
They are coward, Han. They
Han,
are.
this is the thing. Han, a
I mean,
lot.
this is my opinion, and
Okay,
nobody's gonna.
okay, but just to keep in mind, a lot of these guys have been victimized, have been hurt in divorce. Okay, so
Uh-uh.
how are they a coward? I mean, they've been burned. They're playing it very, very safe.
But why is it if and then why is it they get along or they do hang out with be nice? Why is it they're coward? That's the bottom line there. They don't want commitments. And true guys, okay, to me, the true guys don't afraid of commitments. There's gonna they're gonna marry that person no matter what. Okay, because they're not afraid of commitments. But those guys, they're afraid of commitments. They're coward.
Well, sweetie,
They are.
in their defense, there's no divorce in the Philippines.
Because Philippine and it's part of our
It's different
culture
here.
that okay, you gotta marry first, gotta get married, have your own family, not just okay, do whatever you want to do. But um, to me, a person, a guy that don't want commitments are court,
Well, like in J
don't want to
Buds,
marry
if we look at it,
a woman, they're coward because they're afraid of commitments.
okay,
That's
but
true. That's absolutely
they
true.
may be very cautious about commitments, hon, but they've been divorced. They've been taken to the cleaners. There's a lot of emotional turmoil and scars that go with divorce. So, like J Bud is saying, some men, as he says down there, what's wrong with girlfriends? They don't want to get ripped off again. They don't want to get hurt again.
That's okay.
And
That's
so they
okay.
have
That you guys have
girlfriends.
to, uh, learn to each other. That's okay. But if a guy don't give a sign that he's gonna commit to you, come on, back it up, girl.
Well, that's a whole nother thing. You're saying that maybe a Filipina should be, she wants commitment.
We want commitments.
Okay, but
Everybody wants commitments, and
what J Bud would be concerned about is making a commitment again, making a commitment to a woman and ending bad
well,
like before. That's
well, if you are sorry for my language, but if you're not stupid, you gotta learn. Okay, you gotta learn that person. You gotta know that person first before you gotta marry that person.
so you have to ask him a lot of questions, I suppose.
Yeah, you gotta. Okay, I'm gonna go visit there. I'm gonna uh, get to know this person, not just jump into a decision. Okay, I'm gonna marry you. No, you gotta. Okay, you gotta get to know this person. Um, uh, know her family, her background, and if you think that she's worth it, why not just why wait? Why not? Okay, I'm gonna commit to this person. I'm sorry, I'm not I don't agree with those make those ideas.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. No,
That's
we'll
my own
stay right
perspective.
here.
That's my own perspective.
I
I
know,
mean,
but as an
you're asking
American,
that's
well, I
okay.
know
That's a question.
that's
So I
fair.
gave
I
my
asked you, and I do want.
I gave my own.
Okay, but the Filipina might be wondering, well, why is this guy not asking me to marry him? And I don't think they quite understand in a land where there's no divorce, where there's no fault divorce here, where yeah, they were fooled, made a bad decision. I don't know. It didn't work
Mm.
out, and they're hurt, and so they're. I would like to see the MGTOW men get married myself, hon. I really would, but I do understand where they're coming from. So, hun, let me ask you this question.
Oh, maybe because I'm not a man.
She's not a man. She's not
So I
from this
don't
country.
understand. So I don't understand. So what I'm, you know, what I'm giving my own perspective is just because I put myself as a woman.
And
It's a woman's perspective.
I love that, and I want people to know this because Love Beyond the Sea, I do not. This is about truth, and the things that I say on some of my videos, can be hard to swallow, but they're the way I try to live. But we got some more questions now. I got some more spinning around in my head, but we
Look
need
at that.
Where are we, hon?
Right now, wisdom. Ha ha ha. Isa has spoken. Mm, well, because there's a question. Well, that's a woman's perspective.
Well, and it's a very Catholic
it's okay, Isa.
country. There's
Like
a lot
you.
of religion in the Philippines. Now,
Thank you.
I'm not a Catholic.
I like you too.
Well, this is remember everybody tuning in here. This is called Live with Isa about the Philippines and Filipinas. I don't want to give you my perspective or understanding on this. That's why Isa's here.
Okay,
and so
Isa, look.
if you don't agree with it, try to understand
I'm
it.
gonna read that.
Okay.
Michael and Heidi. Many good American men have been beaten down by feminism. You have to understand this. Uh,
And he's true. I mean, he's right.
yeah, but I I don't know, but just like what I said, I kind of give my own perspective as a woman, as a woman that lives. I mean that from the Philippines. This, we kind of we we grow up and have our own culture that you as a man you gotta commit to this person. You gotta marry this person. In here it's okay not to marry, and which is that's part of a culture.
To piggyback here on Jay Bud's comment, he says, okay, what about MGTOW guys who like and get along with Pinays but don't want the chance to marriage thing again? So, hun, what can a Filipina do for a foreigner who has been, and like Michael and Heidi mentioned, he had a bad experience with one or two women in the States. What can a Filipina do to convince that Westerner
They're trustworthy.
that this is going to be different She can trust her. I mean, you get down to trust, and how do you connect everything so there's a trust? But if I said to you, look, hon, I mean, I wouldn't say hon, but look, Isa, I've been married before. I had a terrible experience.
Okay.
I still got scars. I'm not sure I trust, and I'd love to have you around. I'm not sure I'm going to get married. What would you say to try to kind of make me feel better about the chances that I can trust you?
Hmm. Mm,
Because I don't know that they're okay. I know what you're saying, but somehow he's got to open up to the Filipina and say, "This is why I'm reluctant to get married." And then the Filipina, what would she say
so
to
what would
say,
I
"Okay, you don't have to
what
worry
would I
about me"?
do?
How
What
would
would
you
I
make him
do?
feel better about making a
What
commitment?
would I do if to
How do you
I
prove to him you're different?
that I'm different? Not asking money.
Okay, absolutely.
um, Show to the guy that I'm a trustworthy person. You know,
Which would come
mm,
down to not lying to him
not
when you're
lying.
when you're
Yeah.
not contradicting yourself, when
Mm-hmm.
you're
And
communicating.
yes, um, always communicate with that person all the time. Tell that person what's going on with you every every time, every day. Mm, just be honest. See,
Hmm.
just be honest.
So there's nothing wrong with girlfriends. It's just that Isa is saying that the Filipina doesn't want boyfriends; they want husbands, and
They
that
want
was
husband.
maybe that's why we got married in less than eight,
Mm.
8 weeks, because I told her, "Look, I want to be married. I don't want a girlfriend. I want to be a husband." Isa wanted to be married. We both kind of took a chance on each
Hey,
other.
Han, because if you're in a relationship, that means next to it is to is the commitment that you're gonna be I'm gonna be your wife and you're gonna be my husband. That's why you both in a relationship. Why? Because next to it is commitment.
But he may
That's
be
it.
looking at it, not Jay Bud in particular, but a man may be looking at it for companionship, for fun, because it's normal. And she's probably thinking,
I
this guy likes me. He's going to want to marry me
Okay, this
someday.
because this is because here in America it's different.
Well, that's important for the Filipina to
It's different
understand.
here.
Just
I
like,
don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
well, that's okay. We didn't discuss this before, but just like it's important for me to learn about the Philippines and the culture and the language, it would, and this is hard for Filipina to understand the culture here of what divorce has
Yeah,
done
like
to a
the
lot of the
dating,
men. Yeah,
the dating,
I
dating.
I think it's made them very
We're dating. How
hesitant.
long? 3 years. Oh, really? 3 years.
Yeah,
I mean, what's next? So what's next?
we Isa and I both
I'm sorry,
decided
but I'm just really I don't agree with that.
that's fine. Now I need to make a note here next time I do a live to have this on tape delay. So no, I'm just kidding here. We want this to be real, and I appreciate Jay Bud. I appreciate your comment, and he likes you. That's good. Isa, what you see is what you get, and
Hey, if I talk.
and he likes Tagum girls.
Tagum girls, yeah,
They're
that's
really,
my place.
yes,
I
and
grew up there as well. I was born there.
I'd like to see that one of these days. Can't I just live in Tagum and have girlfriends? Well, you
Mm,
you can,
you
except,
can, but please commit to somebody.
well, Jay Bud, just
But
remember, you're not the only guy there, and those girlfriends can be pursued by other men who may be a little more serious.
if you
If they
think,
are, they're going to win.
but if you think that that person is really worth worth it, then go for it. Hey, commit that person. I'm sorry, but yes, commit that person.
Now, Han, since we're talking about the Philippines and Filipinos and no divorce in the Philippines, if they get married in the Philippines and continue to reside in the Philippines, they're not likely to get divorced, right?
Mm,
As it stands now.
we do have an annulment, but right now I think they're discussing to pass the bill of divorce. I hope not. I hope not because to me, marriage is um, a holy. It's a holy commitment. You know, I don't. I don't agree with that.
And you're not alone. You're not alone, hon. Tim Tom Red Pill's
I
fiance, Queenie, right? That's her name.
Queen.
Old
Okay.
culture and must is should get married, but now you can find a girl in the Philippines that don't want to get married too, but just a few of them. So that might be the exception and the rule. So just something to keep in mind for foreigners. If you're attracted to the Philippines because you've heard, just like I did, Filipinos make great wives, just realize they want to be wives. They don't want to be girlfriends. And I was looking for a wife too. This is why Filipinas are so sweet. Majority of Filipina have good hearts and have innocence, where no feminism is in the culture. Michael and Heidi, and you certainly would like it uh, to stay that way. Rhino Wisdom,
Yeah, I
did you have
don't.
a comment? Huh?
Well, some of the feminism ideology is just I don't agree with. I don't agree with them. They're very selfish.
Rhino
Very.
Wisdom, if a guy believes in the Bible, fornication is wrong, marriage is the only God ordained way to have a sexual relationship. It depends on what you believe. Um, yeah, I mean, we're talking about, well, we're not talking about get to know you questions here. We're talking about what you need to talk about before you get married. You need to talk about your must haves, your deal breakers, about money issues, your right and wrong, uh, that sort of thing, where you get your character from. Um, that's why you see the Filipina. She's beautiful, but what is she like on the inside? Talk to her about her beliefs.
No, Han. Yes, I am coward with marriage. That's why I want girlfriends.
Jay,
Uh,
bud, I'm trying to stick up for you, man. Here, even though you want me to eat balut live on YouTube. Um,
well,
it is
no
emerging.
comment. No, I'm not gonna say
It's
anything.
emerging of different
Uh,
cultures. We have a different culture here
Jay,
than the
but
Philippines.
I'm not gonna say anything. No comment.
Well, Jay, bud, I
See?
I hope that you can find the love of
I'm just
a
yeah.
Filipina one day.
We do hope that you could find a worthy Filipina that that will take care of you, that will love you. Mm, I hope so.
Hmm. I'm
But
all for Jay Bud or anyone
but
else here finding a Filipino.
whatever happened from the past, and I am very sorry for that. If you know somehow, okay, he said I'm not offended. But, okay.
Jay Bud's a great supporter here because he is honest in his experiences and feelings as you are, and in a relationship, you have to be open and honest and say what he is saying, and you have to say what you're saying, hon, so the two people can decide if they're right for each other. They have to communicate. Rhino Wisdom, I haven't always been a Christian. Life of a player gets old. The older you get, then comes a time where it just gets empty. Marriage is God's way, and there's a reason for that. That's why I think get married, the sooner the better.
I pray that Michael and Heidi. I pray that there's no there will be never
Divorce in the Philippines.
divorce.
Well,
Um,
yeah, I don't know.
I
It's
hope so. I hope so too.
I yeah, I'm with you.
No,
I'm
it's
with you there. Yeah, we
because otherwise it's gonna be so easy for okay if there's a little problem okay let's divorce. There, you know, some kind of like that easy. Um, both of you like the husband and wife don't do something to fix the problem. Instead, okay, let's go divorce. It would be easy.
I I agree. Um, and Jay Bud adds here, if you tell a girl up front you're not interested in marriage,
Hmm.
isn't that being honest? Well, of course it is. But Han, is Jay Bud or anyone else just says, look, right away, I'm not really interested in marriage, but I would like to have a relationship with you that may or may not be physical, and it probably would be, and he's being honest, and that is true. He's being
Yeah.
honest, but is he going to attract the type of woman that would make a quality wife? I guess would be in one way I'd look at it. Because now, would he only attract people that or women that want to be girlfriends,
Mm,
players? What would a marriage-minded Filipina tell someone in his situation?
no.
She would just say no. And remember, she's got lots of suitors. The Filipina has lots of men who she could go after. So I think she's going to put a priority or a premium on somebody willing to commit to her. Here's a little bit of a lighter question, hon. What can a Western man do to most impress a Filipina? Gets on a dating site. He wants to impress her. I mean, not fool her, but he wants to know what she needs to hear, wants to hear, so he can make a good impression.
um,
Does it just get back to what we've been talking about here and say he wants a commitment?
that would be a big factor. But a guy don't really like commit right away.
Right, he won't, but if he wants to impress you, uh, what type of things would you want to hear to say, this guy moves to the top of my list? If you had 5 Westerners contacting you, who would move to the top of the list?
I don't know.
You haven't thought about it?
No.
Okay.
It's. I think it will happen. I mean,
Maybe the guy that says he's looking to settle down,
it's.
would that
I
move
don't
him
know.
up the
It's
list?
then. I don't know. I don't know if What did you do, Han, to convince me? I don't know.
What I think I did to convince you was convince you that I was
not
honest,
to convince me, but to impress me.
impress you that, look, I want to get married real bad. And I said right away, look, here's my past.
Did you message? Did you tell me that right away?
I think so. I want to get married. You knew from my profile. You said it was very long.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I say make your profile.
Okay.
I just said, look, I'm gonna pretty much lay it on here, lay it on the line in my profile. This is what I'm looking for. I'm honest, just like Jay Bud was saying, but I was honestly looking for a wife.
Oh yeah. Basically, um, in general, I think women are attractive, get impressed to those men that, hmm, for of course, good job, have a good job.
Mm-hmm. The man has a good job.
Mm-hmm. Mm, well, if since it's only online, so you don't really know the personality of the person. Hmm. I would say let's go for physical appearance. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That would be second. Third. I think the third is when you get to the point that you guys are talking. The way this person handle the conversation, the way person talk. I think that would be online. Just online.
You want to move quickly, I would think, to a chat. It can be fun just texting a woman from across the world, but I don't think she wants that.
Okay, and yeah, to one of the reasons why I was so impressed with Bob because of his profile. It was very long. It's like a book.
It wasn't very long like a book.
It was long.
No.
I can't I don't remember what's the entire you know what's the entire message there, but it was very long, and I was like, wow, this guy could write, can talk a lot. And to tell you, I was like, oh my gosh, it's a really long profile. And I remember that I told him, like, hey, why is it your profile is so long? I was so impressed. I was really impressed.
Why? Because I was there for a purpose, and that
And then
was to get married.
you have to click read more
Oh, really? It was that
because
long?
it was really long.
Well, I didn't reveal any trade secrets. I just basically said, look, I want to be married, and I want to be a good husband. I want to take care of somebody. And that could be a big turnoff. And I knew that. I knew that, well,
No,
here
I
in
wasn't,
America,
hon. I wasn't.
though, that would
I
be a
wasn't turned
turnoff.
off. I was really impressed. Actually, I was really impressed.
Something to think about. In
I was
America,
really
sweetie,
impressed.
that would be a turnoff. People say, oh, Bobby, you're single because you want to get married so bad. They think you're desperate. Well, of course I want to get married real bad. Why wouldn't I? I've been alone for a long time. And what didn't work here? Well, I never got that far in the States. But Isa thought, okay, maybe this guy's worth giving some time to.
Worth a million.
Yeah, so
not a million, but a billion.
A billion. Pesos or dollars?
Dollars.
Dollars. Okay. It worked out for me because I was very straightforward in my profile. Look, I think if you're on a dating site and you're living across the world from each other, it's not about dating. It's not about pen pals. It's about finding a spouse.
Okay, what's that?
What a good comment here by Michael and Heidi. Would you agree? You attract the kind of person you are. Be the one you are looking for is looking for. Be the one you're looking for is looking for.
Is looking for.
You attract the type of person you are. A lot of people are in, I don't know. I agree. I'm trying to be the best me that I can, that the type of person to marry me would want to marry me. I'm not going to, in other words, pretend to be somebody else. I'm just going to be me. There's lots of women out there. Surely there's somebody out there that likes what I'm saying. And I need to continue to try to be the person that my wife thought I was when she married me. I can't just pull the rug out from under her.
You've changed a lot.
I have changed a lot for the better, right, sweetie?
Yeah, for the better.
Okay. Yes, a Filipina, I'll tell you what, if you listen to the Filipina, she will help you with your temper. She will be patient, but like Isa, as you know by now, if you've watched tonight, she doesn't mince any words with me what I need to be like. And I told her when we married, hon, if I disappoint you, if I'm acting in a way you don't like, just tell me, because I can't change if I don't know it bothers you. So she has the green light to politely tell me when I'm out of line and what I need to do better.
What's next? I think
J Bud is still here. Very good. I think a lot of foreigners take advantage of Panays. I would never do that. I've helped Panays who were getting lied to, and I believe that. J Bud knows a lot of Filipinas. He does a lot of research. He knows what I didn't know before I went to the Philippines. So I hope, J Bud, you realize that you're talking about a class of women that want to commit, and well, that's great. That's what attracted me to the Philippines. They wanted to get married, and there's no divorce. I thought that was great. Michael and Heidi, people can't change people. It comes from the spirit. Trying to make a bar girl your wife will never work. And I would think so. That would not work. But, hon, before we go here.
What do you mean by bar?
Bar girl? Oh, those are the prostitutes.
Prostitutes.
Yeah. For example, here, what are some places to avoid living in the Philippines?
Manila.
Okay, now why would you? And that's fine. Um, a lot of people live there and are married to women from there, so they'll go visit. But why would you not necessarily want to live there?
Because me myself, I'm afraid to, to go there.
Just too big,
it's
too
it's
crowded,
crowded. It's big. It's crowded. I think a lot of snatchers.
a lot of snatchers. What's a snatcher, huh?
Like pickpocketers.
Pickpocket.
Mm.
Take your purse, take your money.
You can't. You can't wear. You can't wear your jewelries. You can't.
Mm.
You can't even put your bag. On your shoulder. You have to be like holding it.
Yeah.
In front of you and holding it. Like it's crazy.
Well, you're from Davao, where Mr. Duterte ruled for 22 years,
And then it's a lot different in Davao. You could use your phone, your mobile phones, you can wear jewelries, your earrings or whatever, and then you could, you know, uh, hold your phone even in the sidewalk, and then you don't have to worry about something somebody's gonna steal, or even rob you. So
so it's
a lot different,
a lot safer.
a lot safer in Davao. But
Um,
I will avoid Manila.
okay. Now, one question here before we close, and if anyone has any questions, please ask Isa. But should a Western man focus only on a Filipino with a college degree?
No, and I always um, to me it doesn't mean a Philippine if a Filipino doesn't have a degree doesn't mean that woman that person um don't know how to communicate with you or as being a good wife. No, that to me it's a personality. So don't go by that you have to marry a college degree woman or college graduate woman. No, don't.
I have seen that though, as a way to have a safer person to marry because she's working hard. She applied herself to school. Now she's working. But by the same token, maybe that's not um, fair to the woman that maybe didn't
No,
have those opportunities.
because everybody has different situation, you know, different opportunities. So to me, it doesn't mean that person don't have a college degree. She don't want to be, that person would not be a great wife.
And Isa
But
does have a college degree, but I don't think that was on my list of must-haves when I married her. But she does have a college degree, but that was on my list. And J Bud, she can say I'm honest and don't get mad. Well,
no, I'm not mad.
J Bud is honest, and
I can tell.
in a relationship, the two people have to be honest, and they may find out they've got radically different feelings about certain things. And what can you do? You can't run and hide. You just have to learn about each other. And it's okay. I don't ask Isa to, feel the way I do about things or necessarily. I've been trying to get her to like football, but that's really difficult for her. She likes
I like
basketball.
basketball.
Do you like boxing, huh?
I do.
Because you like boxing. When is Pacquiao going to retire?
I don't know.
Do you think he should retire? He's
He
40
should.
years old.
He should.
Why?
He needs to focus on his political career.
Do you think Manny has a good?
He's a really good guy. He's a great politician. But I think it's time for him to retire.
Do you think he has promise as a politician in the Philippines?
He's a good. Yeah, I think so. I voted for him.
I think he's a man with principles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's just because he's one of the more popular people. I don't think it's just because he's donated lots and lots of money and support for the Philippines.
He's a great politician.
I think he's a caring individual. I think he's got scruples. I think he cares very passionately about his country. I think Duterte cares very much about his country. One last thing, hun, before we go, since we are working tomorrow, is bringing up Duterte. Is it 6-year term that he has? Is that the way it works? 6 years in the Philippines? President?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay, so by the time we retire, he's not going to be the president anymore. So
probably his daughter.
you think so?
I don't know. I hope so.
Well, that's one of my concerns is the political climate. I know there's all this stuff going on about the extrajudicial killings, but Duterte has made it safe. He's not God, but he has made it safer over there. Not to mention cleaner.
I hope that his daughter will run for the office as a president.
And that's Sarah?
Sarah.
And you've actually met her?
Yeah, I saw her. I met her once.
Mm-hmm.
I went to her. Well, she was vice mayor that time when I met her.
See, Isa knows people in high places. So that's always good. So Isa's been here for a while now, and I do appreciate everybody here. If anybody has time for a late thumbs up, I would appreciate that. I know Isa adds a lot to these live streams, and she has answered questions that we didn't talk about. People asked them. She answered. She's a little bit tired, so
sorry.
have to get ready and call it a day. But thank you, one and all, for being here. Hopefully, I didn't miss anybody's comments, and I do appreciate
maybe you could go
everyone's.
You could go back on.
I think we got it all.
Get it all.
Yeah, I'm glad we have some Rhino. Everybody here, Michael, J Bud,
Tom Redpill.
Tom Redpill's fiance, Queenie.
Hi, Queenie.
Yeah. Michael and Heidi.
Michael and Heidi. J Bud.
You hear J Bud 5000.
J Bud.
Now J Bud is MGTOW all the way. He says at this point in his life.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, James is a great guy. He's very knowledgeable. He asks excellent questions on this channel to get things rolling. I appreciate his help very, very much. New York Mets fan was here right away. As he said, a twit in the Philippines was also here tonight. This was why you were delayed.
Oh, is it for 33 minutes, 37 minutes?
What? I don't know where you jumped in here.
I was
somewhere.
So tired.
Yeah, you were tired. But excellent conversation. I appreciate everybody being here. If you like this video, like it, share it. Stay tuned in a couple weeks. Hopefully we'll pick out another topic. Subscribe to Love Beyond the Sea. I know I should have said that earlier, and it's my dumb fault for not thinking about that, but I just think about the content and getting it going, and I hope you find this live stream. Maureen, Michelle, and Ken was here earlier, a twit in the Philippines, and I know she has a boyfriend in the States, and she's in the Philippines. So thank you, one and all, and it's getting a little bit late. I appreciate that. We'll see you again in a couple weeks, at least. Hopefully we'll have Isa here.
Okay.
And so we will end the live stream, hon. This is how you do that.